half-finished letter, written in a flowing hand, rendered no more legible by the eccentric spelling and total lack of punctuation. The paper was fresh and clean, and the ink crisply black. Legible or not, the date at the top of the page sprang out at me as though written in letters of fire. 20 April 1743. When he returned a few moments later, Colum found his guest seated by the casement windows, hands clasped decorously in her lap. Seated, but my legs would no longer hold me up. Hands clasped to hide the trembling that had made it difficult for me to stuff the letter back into its resting place. He had brought with him a tray of refreshments, mugs of ale, fresh oatcake spread with honey. I nibbled sparingly at these. My stomach was churning too vigorously to allow for any appetite. After a brief apology for his absence, he commiserated with me on my sad misfortune. Then he leaned back, eyed me speculatively, and asked, "But how is it, Mistress Beauchamp, that my brother's men found you wandering about in your shift? Highwaymen would be reluctant to molest your person, as they'd likely mean to hold you for ransom. And even with such things as I've heard of Captain Randall, I'd be surprised to hear that an officer in the English army was in the habit of raping stray travellers." "Oh," I snapped. "Well, whatever you've heard about him, I assure you he's entirely capable of it." I had overlooked the detail of my clothing when planning my story, and wondered at what point in our encounter the man Murtagh had spotted the captain and myself. "Oh, said Colum. "Possible, I dare say. The man's a bad reputation, to be sure." "Possible?" I said. "Why? Don't you believe what I've told you?" For the Mackenzie chieftain's face was showing a faint but definite scepticism. "I did not say I didn't believe you,
Looks like there's a
mistress,"
storm up
he
there.
answered evenly. "But I've not held the leadership of a large clan for 20-odd years without learning not to swallow whole every tale I'm told." "Well, if you don't believe I am who I say, who in bloody hell do you think I am?"
Beautiful rainbow over here.
Taken aback by my language. Then the sharp-cut features firmed again. "Right, brimming
Yeah, there's two of them.
Meantime, mistress, you're a welcome guest at Leoch." He raised a hand in gracious dismissal, and the ever-present attendant near the door came forward, obviously to escort me back to my quarters. Colum didn't say the next words, but he might as well have. They hung in the air behind me as clearly as though spoken as I walked away. "Until I find out who really